Hey guys, welcome back. Felipe here. So today I'm going to do a video that many of you guys have requested through the years, and finally I got around to doing it, which is showing you my Ibanez bass collection. Before we begin, many people may be unaware of this, but my channel will now be full English, right? So I'm going to be speaking English in all my videos. Of course, my friends in Brazil don't have to worry. As I said in the last video, there's always going to be Portuguese subtitles, but if you're from around the world and maybe until today you felt like you were left out because I was always speaking Portuguese, now I have the news for you. It's going to be all in English. A little bit of my history with Ibanez. I have been playing Ibanez basses for at least 25 years. Actually, I was 14 years old in 94 when I purchased my first Ibanez bass, maybe 94 or 95. It was an SR405, which was also my first 5-string bass and was also my first nice bass, because prior to this bass I had like really crappy cheap basses. So from this bass I kept in brand, and my next bass was an SR406, which was exactly the same bass but 6 strings, right? And of course I had to sell the previous one to buy the next one. Then I bought the bass that I still have to this day, which is this one here, SR1305, which I'm going to show you right now. This bass has plenty of history. Was my first like really high-end bass. It's a Japanese-made Ibanez bass, SR1305, 5-string. Now it's fretless. I don't know if you guys can see it. It has no frets at all. Maybe you can't see it because it has fret lines, which from a distance can look like frets, but no, it's fretless, right? And I kind of regret doing it. At the time I was playing mostly 6 strings live, so I wasn't using this bass as much, so I decided to turn it into a fretless. I didn't have any Ibanez fretless basses at the time, so I did it, but I wish I hadn't done it, and maybe I'll have some very nice guitar builder like my friends from Music Maker refret it again so it's like the original again. But with this bass I recorded many records that are very important in my career. For example, Angra's Rebirth, right, was done with this bass. Also my first real nice band, prog band called Karma, I did with this bass as well. And the Angra DVD, where I have the dual with Kiko, also this bass, this very bass. And I have a very special place in my heart for this one, even though I don't use it as much nowadays, because I really don't want to keep messing with it. You know, the road can be very tough on the instruments. So it stays at home, but it's right here and it's never gonna leave. Next up, I have a bass that it's almost the same. It's the same model. I don't know which year these basses are. It's certainly like early 90s. I'm pretty sure. And this bass is the same, SR1306, which is the same bass but in 6 strings. And this bass is also very important to me because with this bass I recorded Temple of Shadows, which is such an iconic album in my career, and many others. I also played this bass on my first instructional video, Angra Bass, where I show all the Angra songs and how they're played. And this is back when I really moved to 6-string almost exclusively. Up until that point I would play 5 and 6, mostly 5, but then I decided to go full 6 strings, and this was my main bass. I cannot try to remember how many shows I did with this bass, how many recording sessions. It sounds amazing, as you can hear. And actually I had sold this bass a few years back because I was not using it and I was in another brand, so I decided to sell it, which was bad decision. But fortunately I knew the guy that had the bass and he decided to get rid of it, so I got the chance to get it back. So fast forward a few years, I went to other brands, I played other brands of basses, but finally in 2016 or 2015 actually, I got a deal with Ibanez, which was really exciting. Because not only Ibanez is a worldwide iconic brand that many of my heroes play, but it's really part of my history as a musician, as a bass player. Their basses have been an important part of my career, and coming to Ibanez was like going full circle, you know, because I really feel at home with their basses, and I'm just so happy and just so proud to be part of the family, and ever thankful for Ibanez for having me. So in 2016 or maybe late 15, I closed this deal with Ibanez, but being in Brazil, things are not as easy, so I had to rely on what the local dealer had in stock. Fortunately, they had some nice stuff, so they sent me one of these to try out. This is the SR5005, which is an amazing bass. It's a prestige Japanese bass, just like the other two SRs Japanese basses, but 5 strings, so I didn't get to use it as much. As like brand new, this bass, but I do have some videos, as you can see. I also ended up using this bass on the latest Anger DVD, which we're releasing now on YouTube, and it's also going to come out in CD and DVD. And this is just a great bass, very easy to play, very lightweight and very balanced, so great instrument. They also sent me this bass here, and at the time I was a little bit reticent about playing the BTB series. I had never played one before, and I had played many SR basses, so I thought it was just a the natural move to go back to SR basses. But they sent me this bass here, and I really enjoyed it because it's different, you know, has all this different styling, and it has a longer scale. It's a 35-inch scale as opposed to the 34-inch scale of the SRs, and it has a little bit wider string spacing, which I was favoring at the time as well. So this was a great match for me, and I ended up recording a bunch of videos with it, but again, being a 5-string, I didn't get to use it as much live. So this is a BTB 705DX, great bass. It's not a very costly bass at all. Actually, for the buck, I think you get a lot, you know, a lot of bang. So I love this bass, and every now and then when I need some heavier, grittier stuff, I use it. Equipo also sent me 2 other basses that are not here now. I still own them. One is in the repair shop. I'm changing the preamp by Aguilar. It's called the OBP3. And the other one I lended to my good friend Junior Bass Groovador, which you may have seen playing at the Rock in Rio with Jack Black. Junior, he decided that he wanted to be an Ibanez artist, and I was fortunate enough to help him get the deal. So I got in touch with Ibanez right away, and they said, of course we want him. But again, we're in Brazil, things take time here, and it would take a long time for his basses that he chose to arrive in Brazil. So I lended him my bass, which is an SR1206, right? He also plays a 6-string. And the other bass that's in the repair shop is the same model, which is SR1205. I ended up going to the NAMM show in 2016, and there I had the chance to really choose basses that could be, you know, the ones. So as I said, I was a little bit unsure about the BTB at the time, although the guys at Ibanez said that, you know, you should try, you're gonna love it. To be safe, I ordered 2 basses. One was this one here, SR1506. I love this bass, you know, the finish, the wood, the color is a great bass, but I decided that the BTB was my thing, and this also was turned into a fretless bass, as you can or maybe cannot see, right? Has no frets, and it does have the fret lines. It turned out to be an amazing fretless bass, as you can hear. friend, the game changer arrived. This guy here. This guy changed everything for me. I was the SR guy up until the point that I got this bass. This is a BTB 1606. I got it at the same time as the last bass, but upon playing on it for a few hours, I decided that this was the one. And when I took it on the road and started, doing shows with it, it became just clear as day that this should be my line of basses, right inside of Ibanez. I'm really, really happy with everything this bass has to offer. I think it's beautiful. The styling is just, amazing for my taste. The wood, the finish. I got the bridge in Cosmo Black, which is now no longer Cosmo Black because I used it so much it wore out. Originally it was a golden bridge, just as the bass before, by the way. I just love this bass. And I recorded the last Angra album with it and another bass that I'm going to show you as well. But this just sold the whole BTB line for me, and that's what I decided to play from then on. So, once I was hooked to the BTB line, I needed a pair for my 6-string BTB. So I was talking with the dealer in Brazil, Equipo again, and are you sure you don't have any BTB 6-string basses in stock? And they sent me a list of instruments that were either damaged or missing parts. So I took a look at the list and I saw BTB 1306. And I had never seen the bass before. And I asked them, what's wrong with this bass? It had no pickups, no preamp, no bridge. So I thought, okay, if the bass is in good condition otherwise, just send it to me and I'll just put the parts back and make it work. And it was this bass right here, the BTB 1306E. And this bass is very peculiar because it's made in Korea, right? It's a Prestige, but it's made in Korea. And this is not the original color. It was a natural bass, as you can see in the picture. And what I did is I got the SR1206, got all the pickups and bridge and preamp, and put in this bass. And at the time I was still not playing the Aguilar stuff. And then as soon as I signed with Aguilar, I put the Aguilars in here. This also a game changer, completely transformed the bass. I also got the black bridge and tuners. And this bass just sounds amazing, plays amazing. It's a little bit heavier, and one thing I haven't showed you guys is the back of the basses. All the BTB basses, or most of them, are neck through, which is something that I was also a little bit, unsure of, because up until then I had only played bolt-on basses, but it turned out that I didn't lack the attack that I thought I would. These basses have plenty of attack, and they also have the sustain that neck through basses are known for. So for me, just perfect. This bass was natural wood, as I said before, and I really wanted to try painting it blue. So I went again to my friends at Music Maker. I went for a blue that some of you guys may be familiar with from a previous bass I owned from a Brazilian brand, D'Alegria. But it ended up coming out way nicer, way better. I just love the look of this bass. And if one day I'm fortunate enough to have a signature model with Ibanez, I think this is the color that I would go for. I've been going to the NAMM show every year, with the notable exception of this year, which had no NAMM show at all, which was very sad, by the way. And always I would check out the new models and talk to the Ibanez guys. Can you send me one of these? I would choose a bass and they would prepare it for me. So this was the next one. This is the first BTB 1906 that I got, and it's full of improvements. One thing that I love is that you can access the truss rod from the neck. You don't have to, unscrew the cover here and do the whole thing. It's a little bit lighter. It has an improved preamp, which is very nice. They improved the bridge as well. Just plays amazing, sounds amazing. And I toured for the last album, the tour I did with this bass and the gray one. And I was just, you know, switching between the basses on the show. They're all in the same tuning with the Angria, they're all one step below. It's just a slight difference in sound. This bass is a little bit brighter, the other one is a little bit fatter, not as bright. Even though they have same preamp and same pickups, but you know, the wood always makes a difference. So this one here, the same case, went to the NAMM show, saw the new models, got in love with it, asked the guys, they said, yes, great guys at Ibanez. And this is also the BTB 1906, but with updated looks. It's basically the same bass. The neck is slightly thicker in this one for some reason. I don't know, it's maybe just that difference when you get two basses that are supposed to be the same, but as they're handmade in many stages of the process, they end up coming out a little bit different from one another, so maybe that's the case here. Also sounds amazing, plays great. Also at NAMM 2019, I needed a 4-string bass, which I normally don't use much, but I needed it for my online courses, because you know, most beginner bass players, they start with the 4-string, and even though you can, you know, show the exercises on the 5-string, just having the 4-string is a clearer way for someone who's just starting out. They don't have to ignore the B string and whatnot. So I got this bass here, and I was very, very pleasantly surprised with this one, because it sounds great, even though it's an entry-level bass for Ibanez, or I would say mid-entry level, because it's a very nice bass. It has Bartolini pickups, the same kind of preamp you'll find on my more expensive BTBs. This one has a very similar technology on the bridge to the BTBs, but with the difference that this is not a monorail bridge. This is a solid piece. On the BTBs you can see it's a monorail. Just a great bass. For the price, you really get a lot. Very good sounding, very comfortable to play, lightweight, very well balanced. So, we come to 2020, same deal. NAMM show, look at the models, they look amazing. Fall in love with them, I want one. So, this is another BTB 1906. This one is 1906 SM. I don't know what SM stands for. Mao Nakamura, which is the head of Ibanez bass design, can maybe tell me later. And this has a nice story. Actually, this one and also the red one, they are the exact same basses that you saw on the website. If you got on the website at the time, this one probably is still up on the website. This is the bass on the picture. The very same instrument. If you look at the wood patterns and compare it to the pictures, you see that it's the same bass. Same deal, just upgraded looks, styling. The bass is pretty much the same. Woods are different, but everything else stayed the same, which for me is good news because I love it. And I still didn't have the chance to play this one much, but I'm gonna show you guys its sound. And last but not least, this guy here. This guy is quite a new bass that's from last year. Many people ask me, I did the video of the Davey 504 Speedrun Challenge with it. Many people try to find this finish online. You can't anymore. They have discontinued this finish. They only have the blue one now. But this is the EHB 1505 MS. So it's a headless bass, as you can see. It has no headstock. You tune at the bridge. The tuners are here. And it also has a multi-scale, or you can also call it fan frets. So the theory behind it is that you have two different scale lengths. For the low strings, you have the 35-inch scale, which is greater for the low strings, low tunings, because it gives it more stability. the longer it is, the more stable it is. But for the high strings, you really don't take advantage of that. So they made it even shorter than normal to make reach better. So it's a 33-inch scale on the high string. So it goes from 35 to 33, and that's why the frets are like this, slanted. And one of the great advantages of this bass is that you can fit it on a guitar case or a guitar gig bag, which is great for flying. And it makes it very, very, very lightweight. It's really, really lightweight, very well balanced as well. And it has the very mid, which I like very much. I have it on my old SR basses, which you can select the mid frequency and boost or cut this frequency, which is just great. And apart from that, it's just an amazing looking bass, very original design, very nice looking, very modern, you know, and I have been playing it a lot. I just love playing with it. Have been recording with it a lot as well. So, great bass. That's it, guys. This is my collection. I hope you like it. I sure love it. And I'm thinking about doing a Q&A, so if you have a question, just leave it in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I see you in the next one.